What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Steelers Breakdown here. Solo pod on Wednesday, and today we're going to talk about the Steelers' move on Monday. We didn't really talk much about it yesterday in the big pod. We'll talk about the Steelers signing Robert Woods, Bobby Trees coming to the Berg, a 1 year, $2 million deal for him. Steelers adding a veteran to this wide receiver room and kind of giving another veteran presence to this room. First of all, if you know me, you know how much of a fan I've been of Robert Woods over his career. I mean, when we were talking about guys that when I was starting this thing and watching tape of to look at what a good wide receiver prospect looks like, we're talking about I was looking at guys like Robert Woods. I'm just such a fan of what Robert Woods brings to the table in terms of his ancillary things that don't require the athleticism and the age part of his game to age gracefully. He's a consummate professional. We're talking about a guy that is incredibly great in the locker room. He's done that for 12 years. I mean, he's been in the league for a while now. I love the fit in terms of the philosophy here. Robert Woods played Sean McVay's scheme. It was all about those condensed sets, running those over routes, making those tough middle of the field catches against zone coverage, making those tough catches in contested windows in the red area. He was a blocker that could dig out safeties. He's a guy that can deal with that physicality. He brings it. I don't think there's a lot left in terms of the athletic part of Robert Woods' game. He looks on tape kind of done from that perspective, but I also don't think his role this year is going to need him to be a significant factor of that. He's a wide receiver 4 or 5. We're talking about a guy that's going to come in and basically be Van Jefferson, what Van Jefferson should have been, which was a wide receiver 4 or 5. He's going to be a really hard-nosed blocker. He's going to be a really consummate professional, have an adult in that room that's been there, done that, won Super Bowls, that can set a good example for these young players that they have. And he's a different type of player. He's a power Z slot type. The Steelers didn't have one of these guys on the team after losing Van Jefferson, Pickens, Metcalf, Austin, Wilson, Skowronek, all different types of players. Skowronek can block, but he's more of a wing fullback. You can do different things with him. He's a blocker, but he's a special teamer first. But they're different players. What Skowronek and Woods do are different. Woods can play inside or outside. He's probably not going to separate against man coverage at a high level anymore, but he can do it through his physicality. And we are talking about a guy, it's probably not going to have a super productive season, right? Don't expect 800 yards from Robert Woods. Should probably expect, to be quite honest, maybe 20 to 25 catches and maybe 250 to 300 yards. I think that's probably about the peak of what we're going to see here, barring injury, of course, where he is thrust into a bigger role. I do think he will make the roster. I think this makes it a little tougher for Roman Wilson to get on the football field. Roman Wilson, obviously coming off those injuries, the high ankle sprain into the hamstring injury, just kind of knocking out his ability to play last year. But this is going to be a big year for him. He's the wild card. He is a speedy player. He is a really fast, horizontal stretching threat. He's not much vertical threat. He's more of the horizontal guy. The instant acceleration off the line of scrimmage is kind of how you would use him. Very similar to how he was used in Michigan, right? The over routes, drag routes, some screen game, but some things that you use to stretch horizontally over the middle of the field is how I would use him. So I think Woods, in a lot of ways, is the type of receiver Aaron Rodgers loves. He's the tough guy that makes the tough grabs over the middle of the field. He could function similar to Allen Lazard. Last year, he's a really big body that you can really rely on to have great hands. That's always been his thing. He's got great hands. This is a guy that's going to bring that to the table. And so the Steelers can now comfortably play an 11 personnel with different archetypes of players, with different types of receivers. Again, it's not going to be a wide receiver room that you're going to mistake for a top 5 unit in the league, but it's a much more solid group. It's a high variance group a little bit, so I like the fact that you have Austin and Woods there. Well, Woods and Austin are kind of these really consistent guys. Sometimes Metcalf goes through cold stretches. Pickens can be a little up and down too. These two guys are really low variance players. You kind of know what you're going to get out of them. They'll be, Woods is going to give you blocking every week. Austin's going to give you his all. He can give you those vertical stretching abilities every week. He can be a guy that can really kind of be your route runner as well in this offense. So there's definitely a different type of receiver room, I think, that we're seeing here And so I really like the signing of Robert Woods for that reason. I just think he brings something that they didn't have. I'm not expecting a ton from Robert Woods, but in terms of their run game, he's definitely going to be a net positive for them and what they can do from condensed splits. And he should really help them. It's basically Allen Robinson or Van Jefferson this year, but in the proper role of wide receiver 4 or 5. He's going to get limited snaps, but he's going to be really, really high level blocker. He can be insurance for injuries whenever you need it. So really solid signing for Robert Woods. I fully expect him to make this football team. And I do like the fit here because he is a McVay offshoot offense, Arthur Smith says. And of course, I just think Robert Woods fits into that type of offense so well. All right, folks, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell for more. We'll be back tomorrow with more.